Fobbits was driving his Ford E-Series van when a tow truck lost the U-Haul truck it was pulling, sending it hurtling across the street backwards. The truck hit a car after Fobbits braked to avoid it. The driver was taken away by an ambulance in under 15 minutes. Fobbits gave a copy of his dashcam footage to the responding officer. It's true what they say. You really have to watch out for those driverless vehicles. Dan was driving in Hemet, California when he witnessed something he calls a good old-fashioned wreck. The driver of a silver car pulled out of a Starbucks parking lot and crossed in front of a Ford Fusion, causing a collision. Obviously, they didn't check for traffic before driving into the street. Tom was driving in Rio Vista, California when a driver coming the other way made a risky pass, forcing Tom's 1996 Mustang onto the shoulder. Tom says, "Thank God for large, smooth shoulders." He also said the only damage was done to his shorts. Mike was waiting at a red light in Chandler, Arizona when the driver of an oncoming vehicle ran the red light and collided with another vehicle. The impact happens off screen, so listen for the crash and then watch to see what happened next. Mike backed up just in time to avoid the sliding vehicle, but the driver next to him wasn't so lucky. Airbags in both vehicles involved in the initial collision deployed, and the drivers weren't able to get out of their cars. In the end, they only had minor cuts and bruises. Mike gave a copy of his dashcam footage to the police officers. Philip was picking up his mother's car from a detailing shop when he had his own encounter with the driverless car. When an employee realized that the car was rolling away, he leapt in front of it to stop it from rolling into a busy street. Philip points out this was not smart, as he really put himself in danger by doing this. Mikhail was headed to work when a van drove in front of him at an intersection. His Goodyear tires did a good job of bringing him to a stop from almost 40 miles per hour in under 2 seconds. He was tempted to follow and confront the other driver, but he didn't want to be late for work. This video was sent in by the driver of a 2013 Tesla Model S who was in an accident, but the dashcam was mounted in a car nearby. After the accident, the dashcam's owner gave our submitter a copy of their video and they sent it to us. Trey was driving past a shopping center when the driver of an SUV exited a parking lot and T-boned his Tesla, high-centering it on an island. The SUV driver admitted fault and the Tesla was totaled. The only injuries were minor, and Trey and Emily were able to replace their car with a 2018 Tesla Model S. Watch what Brian witnessed while driving down a wet highway on a rainy day. The driver of a Dodge Challenger was going too fast. When he hit some small bumps and puddles, he spun out and went into the ditch, spinning around before ending up buried in trees. Hopefully everyone inside was okay. Mohammed sent us several clips from Saudi Arabia. In this one, he watched someone somehow manage to drift in a front-wheel drive car. Now that right there takes some real skill. In this one, he watched his family in the car ahead of him react to another driver pulling way out into the road. Whoa. The black car barely stopped in time, and Muhammad had to chuckle at his family member's late response time. Ted had just dropped off a rider and was leaving their house. The driver of a pickup truck failed to check for traffic before pulling onto the road right in front of Ted's Corolla. The pickup driver's insurance coverage took full responsibility and is currently covering the $5,200 repair bill. Darren has this week's Tesla behaving badly. He was headed to work when he spotted a white Model Y up ahead. He assumed the Tesla would stop at the stop sign and he'd get a good look at his dream car as he drove by.
That Tesla man can't drive. That Tesla man can't drive.
When he noticed they weren't stopping, Darren honked and the driver stopped before an accident occurred. Andrew was on his way to work in his Kia EV6 when a pickup turned onto the road and merged all the way across to the farthest lane. Fortunately, Andrew avoided a collision by slamming the brakes and swerving into a driveway. He reported the dangerous driver to the business who owns the truck, but he hasn't heard anything back from them. Mattias was waiting at a red light in his Toyota RAV4. When the light turned green, the large work truck in the other lane started moving, even though the Ford Explorer in front of him hadn't.
Go or cut and paste? Oh!
The work truck rear-ended the Explorer, which I'm sure left a bad impression of their driving skills. Mattias asked us to shout out his sister Isabella, who has been watching us for a while. Andrew rounded a corner in his Ford F-250, and his sharp eyes caught another driver spin out behind him while trying to make it through a yellow light.
Oh, that dude just spun out.
Fortunately, there was no collision and no damage, and the other driver was able to continue on. Andrew and his dad both had a good laugh about it. Joshua is a driver for Uber Eats. One night while waiting for an order at Sonic, he witnessed an accident occur on the street ahead of him. It looks like one car clipped another while one of them was turning, sending it spinning and skidding down the road. Joshua gave them his contact information in case they wanted his dashcam video, but they never reached out. River was on their way to their veterinarian's office when a Honda going dangerously fast tried to overtake them before they turned. Say it with me, Honda bump. They don't have a dash cam, but the vet's office gave River a copy of their security camera footage. Hey River, if you want to know which dash cam we recommend, check out the link in the description. Hernan was on his way to work when he noticed a truck ahead of him throwing sparks everywhere. Suddenly, chaos erupted. I'm not sure what happened, but it seems like the truck lost at least one wheel and possibly more before sliding to a halt. Fortunately, traffic was light at the time and there were no injuries. Caden was headed home from work after getting gas. As he approached a stop sign, he slowed down since people have a tendency to blow through it. Sure enough, a semi-truck with no trailer turned onto the road, disregarding the traffic already there. Caden honked and used the empty oncoming lane to pass instead of slamming on the brakes and sliding into the semi. Caden left us with good advice. Always pay attention. You never know when some crazy driver is going to ignore traffic laws. Simon sent us this video from Hungary. He doesn't have a dash cam, so he stopped to film this with his phone. He says there are thousands of deer in the area, so people need to be very careful driving at night or even in the morning. Do you have a dashcam video that you want to share with us? Please send the video together with a description of what happened using the link in the description below. I'm not totally sure, but I think those were reindeer.